Hello, friends, and welcome. This is Keck with Builderall, your information products training and support specialist. Welcome to today's live broadcast. Today is Monday, so you know what that means. Motivation Monday. That's right, time to get our mindset straight for success in business and in life. I'm excited to bring you another great book summary today. We're going to be looking at It Takes What It Takes: How to Think Neutrally and Gain Control of Your Life by Trevor Moawad. So let's get right into it. Like to start with a quote from the book? Here we go. That's why I wrote this book. You don't need to be an elite athlete to train your mind like one. You simply need to have challenges that must be overcome. And guess what? You're human. So you absolutely face challenges every day at work and in your personal life. Maybe you were passed over for a promotion. Maybe you're trying to go to school to better yourself while working and aren't sure how to squeeze everything into the 24 hours of a day. Maybe you have a bad boss and don't know how to manage your interactions. Maybe you've just had a child and you're struggling to adapt to all the extra work at home. Maybe your spouse just told you it's over. Once you finish this book, you'll be equipped with the same tools I'd give a team seeking a national title. You'll learn that champions don't think positively or negatively, they think neutrally. You'll learn that champions behave as if they have no choice. You'll learn that champions make detailed plans. You'll learn that champions visualize what they want. You'll learn that champions lead themselves before they lead others. You too can do this. By cracking this book open, you've already shown that you want to grow and change. So let's do it. It takes discipline, it takes sacrifice, it takes time. It takes what it takes. By Trevor Moawad from It Takes What It Takes. So, we're going to unpack the following big ideas from this book. First off, neutral thinking versus positive and negative thinking. Goats and goats, bliss and fiascos. The law of substitution, aka the law of focus. The illusion of choice. Want greatness? There is no choice. Draw the line in the dirt and go to it. Repeat forever. All right, so let's get into the first big idea here: neutral thinking. Down 19-7, Russell Wilson hadn't gone into the tank. You could tell when the Seahawks next got the ball back. We can still win this game, Russell yelled. Let's go! 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Why hadn't Russell given up? Why did he treat the next play as if the previous ones didn't matter? Because he stayed neutral. Neutral thinking is a high performance strategy that emphasizes judgment free thinking, especially in crisis and pressure situations. It is the cornerstone of what I teach the athletes and teams that employ me. The thing about neutral thinking that resonates with so many elite athletes, most of whom are deeply skeptical of any self help, is that it's real, it's true. It acknowledges that the past is irrevocable, that it can't be changed with mantras or platitudes. Neutral thinking shuns all attempts at illusion or outright self delusion, which are often the foundation of other motivational systems. Neutral thinking strips away the bull and the biases, both external and internal. The next big idea: goats and goats. 3 years later, Russell and I would go over this play and its aftermath with former Oklahoma State quarterback Mason Rudolph for our ESPN show QB to QB. Right here, in this moment, you realize that if you're going to go for something, you're going to have some heartbreak. Russell told Rudolph as the interception played out on a nearby wall. But if you're not willing to go there, you're never going to get there. In other words, you have to be willing to be the goat. In the old negative meaning of the word, my generation grew up with, if you want to ever have a chance at being the GOAT, like the younger generation, the greatest of all time. So, goats and goats, put another way. Want to hit the game winning home run? You need to be willing to strike out in that same batter's box. Let's step out of the warm up circle and into the arena. Our destiny is calling. Okay, the next big idea: the law of substitution, aka the law of focus. Russell understood a critical fundamental: the law of substitution. At any given moment, our minds can sustain only one thought at a time. One! The thousands of words flying through our brains or screams from outside crowds at riot levels can't overcome that truth. It's universal. My mind doesn't block things out, it simply goes to whatever thought I ask it to go to. My inner voice is loudest. If I don't use it strategically, however, then the words of others or the outside chaos can replace my message to myself. My own words influence me 10 times as much as anyone else's. Russell uses that power. We all can. That is so true. My own words influence me 10 times as much as anyone else's. Powerful. Okay, next up, the illusion of choice. My dad was always trying to adjust his phrasing to make it resonate with the largest audience, and he knew when he'd found words that hit the target. This phrasing hit the mark. I could see it in the players' eyes. I could see it in the coaches' eyes. They understood. I see that same recognition every time I present to a new group and explain the illusion of choice. Of all the things you teach, Trev, nothing hit me between the eyes like the illusion of choice. MGM Studios COO Chris Barrington told me. It so clearly is true, and yet we all compete against our own choices every day. Deep down, we all know our choices ultimately determine our behaviors, and those behaviors ultimately determine our outcomes. That doesn't make choosing correctly any easier in our own lives. So here it is, the illusion of choice. We think we have an array of choices available to us, but if we're serious about actualizing our potential, achieving our greatness, winning our own version of the Super Bowl, whatever success means to us, then there simply is no choice. Moment to moment to moment, we need to step forward into growth and give our best, period. The next big idea, draw your line in the dirt. I've had the honor of working alongside U.S. Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell over the years. He told his story in Lone Survivor, and it's a testament to staying neutral. In June 2005, Marcus and three other members of SEAL Team 10 were dispatched into the Hindu Kush Mountains in eastern Afghanistan with a mission to either kill or capture a Taliban leader. After a group of goat herders stumbled upon the SEALs and gave their location to Taliban soldiers, the Taliban attacked. Luttrell's three teammates were killed, and he was left to try to survive an enemy onslaught in an unfamiliar area. Luttrell was shot 11 times. He broke his back and his pelvis. He blew out his knees. He broke his nose and bit off a piece of his tongue. He needed to travel 7 miles to reach the nearest village to have any chance of survival. He didn't think about the total distance he had to cover. That would have overwhelmed him and made him quit. As he lay on the ground looking at the moon, he decided to crawl. He grabbed a rock, drew a line in the dirt. Then he crawled forward. When his feet passed the line, he drew another line. He did that for 7 miles. That is the ultimate in neutral thinking. Marcus didn't think positively. He didn't think negatively. He thought, I am capable of crawling to this line. The next time life presents you with a challenge, don't simply assume everything will work out. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. Just evaluate the situation, figure out what you can accomplish right now, then draw your line. When you cross that line, draw another one and keep on going. All right, so before we get to the summary, I wanted to include this. There are 12 chapters in the book, and each of the chapters features an it takes. So here's what it takes by chapters in this book. Chapter 1, it takes neutral thinking. Positive, negative, nah, neutral is where it's at. Chapter 2, it takes a plan. What's yours? Chapter 3, it takes hard choices. Ultimately, if you're committed to greatness, there is no choice. Chapter 4, it takes a verbal governor. Quit saying stupid things out loud. Chapter 5, it takes a negativity diet. Your environment strongly influences your well being. Eliminate as much negative stuff as you can. Goodbye, incessant news, country music, songs, etc. Chapter 6, it takes an ad campaign in your brain. You're always talking to yourself, so you might as well feed your brain a stream of positive ads. Chapter 7, it takes visualizing. What's your best future look like? Chapter 8, it takes self awareness. What you do that works, do more of that. What needs work, work on that. Chapter 9, it takes pressure. Pressure, ultimately, Trevor tells us via Billie Jean King, is a privilege. Why? Because feeling pressure means that what we're doing matters. Chapter 10, it takes leadership, and that starts with leading yourself first. Chapter 11, it takes role models. Who are your heroes? Trevor's dad was his. How about you? Chapter 12, it takes what it takes. You ready to do what needs to get done? Man, I like this book. So here we go. The big ideas: neutral thinking versus positive and negative thinking, goats and goats, bliss and fiascos, the law of substitution, aka the law of focus, the illusion of choice. Want greatness? There is no choice. Draw the line in the dirt and get to it. Repeat forever. Man, I've really enjoyed this book. I hope you guys have too. I appreciate you guys joining me for this edition of Motivation Monday, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Get back to some Builderall training bright and early in the morning, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is my usual time, so I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, let's build it with Builderall. Ciao for now, friends.